they're especially happy for the way things work themselves out. And then I got some things I'm gonna do this year. And yeah, we'll cover another episode. But some things like some hard stops on certain stuff and just change some environmental changes because I moved. So to change my environment, to change your habits and just makes you a completely different person. But we'll do that on an episode that's more based. This shit is disgusting and lit.
At the same time that we
So
about to get into. So let me go ahead and tell you what is going on today. All my listeners, all my viewers, if you don't know, I'm surprised because this shit is extremely viral. If you don't know about Katt Williams and how he's starting off his 2024, well, he's letting the cat out of the bag, literally. Man, I mean, he went on the Shay Shay show, Club Shay Shay, as the show is called, and he let it be known that he is not going to let lies and untruths be told about him. He cleared up some things on a few of Shannon Sharp's guests, including Cedric the Entertainer, Rick Smiley, and even some of those that took straight bullets that never been on his show, as far as Steve Harvey. No, Steve Harvey was on the show, so he took shots at Steve Harvey. He got Faison Love. He got Ludacris. He got everybody. Everybody got a bullet from Katt Williams. And if you don't know, let me go ahead and give you some insight on what happened. So, Katt Williams was invited to Shannon Sharp show, Club Shay Shay, where before the interview was even before the what do you call it, the polites or the hospitality could even be acknowledged, he immediately went in and started talking about the shit he don't like. Ricky Smiley, this, I can't believe you let these niggas come up here and say this, and and a lot of motherfuckers is reading that and saying, hey man, Katt been telling the truth. Katt been on it, and some of the things that he addressed was Ricky Smiley had made comments that he should have played Money Mike. Um, and he was originally had the role, but the producer saw fit that Katt Williams should play. And he had already recorded all his scenes for the Money Mike role in 4 days. And basically Katt Williams, they switched him and told him he would run the Santa Claus, and he had no problem with that. So Katt Williams came to clear that up. He came to clear up that Cedric the Entertainer stole his joke from a 1998 Comic View special where it was actually presented on commercials. The joke in question is the one from Kings of Comedy that Cedric the Entertainer does at the end of his segment, or the end of his show, where he talks about if white people were to that basically black people gonna follow white people wherever they go. If they want to go to the moon, black people come in there too. And don't, what you think, a spaceship, they know how to drive spaceships. They've been driving big ass cars. That's right up their fucking alley. Right. And so he does some pantomiming things where he basically acts as though he's driving the spaceship, but he's driving it like he's driving an old school big ass Cadillac DeVille or some shit like that. Looking back into 1998, Katt Williams has a joke where he's doing a lot of the same pantomiming. So a lot to address, a lot to unfold. Even some things about at the end of Friday After Next. Damon was supposed to take Money Mike's cheeks, but he stood 10 toes down. He stood on business, as they say now. He stood on business and said, nah, ain't no raping going on here. Y'all ain't gonna be doing that to me, and it's gonna be this much more funnier if we don't get raped and this happens. And a lot has came out since then. People, pretty much every comedian has had to address this, has had to say some things, even including Michael Blackston to Ice Cube to, of course, Cedric the Entertainer, Ricky Smiley, sure, who else? Everybody, Faison Love, everybody, Ludacris, everybody has had to address this. And I felt like my man Katt Williams, I'm gonna tell you straight off the back, and then we'll get into what Mr. Humor might have to think. But I'm gonna tell you this much: I think Katt is brilliant for this shit. I think this is incredible way to start off your 2024 if you are in the entertainment industry. This is how the fuck you keep your name relevant. This is how niggas is gonna remember. Oh yeah, damn, we forgot about Katt Williams. Nigga, to the point where you even got the biggest comedian in the world right now had to address your shit. And he didn't even address it. He didn't even address it to say, you know what, he's lying. He addressed it to try to come up with some lame man's jokes. Katt read these many books. Katt running a 4-4. Nigga, that shit ain't even funny to me because in the end of the day, you the biggest comedian. Either you should address it or don't say shit about it. You feel me? Either address it and say that nigga's lying, blah, 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 blah. Let's be real. But to try to come at it with humor, I think that was funny. And to do it in a segment where you're watching a basketball game it felt like some shit that was thrown together where you had to have all your coworkers and boys to be put on there to throw it on. Kind of mad at you, Kevin Hart, for that shit. But be real with you, because Kevin Hart even had to address this shit. People, if y'all don't know who I'm talking about when I say the biggest comedian in the world, because he is the biggest. He's the smallest, but the biggest. So, yeah, man, it's a lot to take in, Ryan, and you being our resident comedian, you know what I mean? Our, the GOAT, man. Our GOAT, at least. How do you feel about this shit, man?
Well, one of the things I do want to touch on that I haven't seen anyone mention other than the homie Jamestown J, I do want to touch on this. Katt gave out 3 very incredible, like, life-changing gems to me. Life mentioning. I just want to mention these 3 things he said. One thing he said, I never got anything that I didn't want. I'll even pump fake at something and still get it. I don't look at things I don't want. That's kind of how I live my life when it comes to like law of attraction, manifestation, just good environments and good people. That's what I mean when I thought the laws of power is about, y'all. Avoid disdain what you can have, avoid the unlucky. He also said something about, it's like, if you want to be happy, if you take anything away from this interview, take this away. He's like, when you go to sleep tonight, you chill and be like, yo, I made it through another one. And then tomorrow you wake up a winner. But every night be like, yo, I made it through another one. It's like, God damn, that's another one. Mm-hmm. Another thing he said was he always likes to give back to cities that he goes and if he goes to a hole in the wall city, he wants to give back. I just appreciate that about him. I think that's really cool. A couple other things he mentioned on that interview that I've seen on other interviews is him saying that he went on tour with Blue Collar Comedy, and then he moved to Sacramento, and then he moved to Oakland, and then he moved to LA. On another podcast, I heard him mention that he moved to Sacramento. When he was in Sacramento, he was performing at Laughs Unlimited, which is dope because that means that I shared the stage with Katt Williams. So, aside from all that stuff, I thought the Katt Williams interview was fire, man. I have a pushback. I push back on a couple things. The primary thing I would like to get to, first of all, is some people are saying that it's cool for Cedric to like punch up that joke. But I don't think it is cool to punch it up because the whole pantomime of the joke, is the key part of the joke. For those of you guys that don't know what pantomime means, it means like when you're pretending to drive a car, you're pretending to cook with your hands and nothing's there. It's pantomiming, not being a mime, but half of being a mime. And the thing about the joke is, it's interesting to say, oh, okay, well, black people follow white folks to anywhere. And the result of like, when you have like white flight in neighborhoods and they like black bus blocks to sell them back in the day and all that. And that's a funny concept that we follow them anywhere. But then to add someone else's pantomime into it and say, no, this is my joke. Like, yeah, the premise is your premise. Like, yeah, we'll follow them anywhere. That's the premise. But to add the pantomime in there is crazy. It's so wild. And it's what reminds me of this time. There's this legendary comedian called Sam Kinison. And he talks about there was a thing happening in the 80s where homosexual men were breaking into, not every homosexual man, but some homosexual men were breaking into like morgues and having sex with dead bodies. And the guy, Sam Kinison, gets on the ground, pretends to be a dead guy. And he's like, thank God I made it through life. Just can't wait to get buried. Can't believe I made it through my whole life without getting anything put in my butt. And then he's like, no, and he's on the floor. And he's like throwing it back. And it's like, no, what's happening? What's happening to me? And this is in the 80s. Like, what's happening to me? I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, that's such a good pantomime. Yeah. Such a good pantomime. So the premise is people breaking into a morgue having sex with bodies. You can take that pantomime and put it in a different joke and say, one time I'll be afraid the doctor gonna have sex with me sometimes. And put that whole pantomime in there and be like, what's happening to me? You can't do that. You can't just change the premise and then add someone's. I mean, here's the thing, you can, but I don't really think that it's cool. Like, I don't, and I also think when it comes to this whole situation, right? When I first heard about this particular joke theft deal, I thought that Cedric I thought that Cedric and Katt were telling the same joke. Now, to me, when someone's telling the same joke, I'm like, bro, that's parallel easy. Thinking. You niggas is both brilliant. We drive in a Cadillac, whatever. That's how black people. I'm sure there's been a thousand base heads to do that in the 70s, pretending to drive a car.
Right.
But now that I know that now that I saw the joke and know that like one joke is the pantomiming, and the other joke is having that pantomime inside of that joke, I'm like, okay, I think that may have been lifted. If y'all telling the same thing, ooh, got you, all good. Like Louis C.K. and Dane Cook had a beef because Louis C.K. said something along the lines of, you could just name a baby anything. You can name a baby like, if you want to, and that's just the baby's name. And it goes on for like 3 minutes. And Dan Cook had a joke like that. Like, you can name a baby just whatever. What if I had a kid and just named it blah, 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 blah? And then Louis C.K. was like, man, that's my joke because you do it like this. And Dan's like, nah, man, it's just common thinking. Like, that's not that big of a deal. You know what I mean? So there's certain things where they get lifted in the way where it's like, okay, anybody would say that. There's other things where it's like, okay, the way that you put that into that, I don't think. And it's the way it's so close and the way that Katt tells a story like, yo, I saw a dude and we spoke about it. And the way that people get addressed at certain times lets me know that they do feel a way about certain things, which is why, I'll let you go for this. I don't want to go be too winded, which is why I don't completely agree. I don't completely agree with some of these comments where people are saying, and something you just said, some of the people are saying like, well, so-and-so responded, but they didn't address it. So-and-so responded, but they didn't address it. And I think that if you know some of these people, I'll go to Kevin Hart in a minute, but if you know some of these people, you would know that it's not, depending on like where you're at in life, it's not necessarily worth going in and explaining what someone else is saying if you don't completely agree with it. Now, Ice Cube's thing, I don't know if you saw what I sent you. Ice Cube does a whole breakdown of what happened with the shit. I understand Ice Cube's point. Kevin Hart, when it comes to Kevin Hart, Kevin Hart doesn't got to explain it because it's in his book. I read Kevin Hart's book. I've seen all his interviews. Katt Williams said, how does a brand new comic move from New York to LA and suddenly get a movie deal? It's not what happened. That's not what happened. He was working in New York for a very long time, and then got an invite to the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival in Montreal. That's where niggas used to get their holding deals at back then when it was television. He got a holding deal for a show and moved to LA. That show got canceled. Got another holding deal with a show with Seth Rogen. They recorded it. That show got canceled too. He went back on the road. Seth Rogen ended up calling him back. That's how he got that part in 40-Year-Old Version when he's yelling at Romani Malco in the Best Buy.
Oh, y'all both for the same smart dick.
Yeah, so it's in the book. And and Kevin Hart has addressed Katt Williams before. He addressed him for 20 minutes on Breakfast Club. He's done it already. If y'all haven't seen that, peep it. He's on there with Tiffany Haddish. Kevin Hart says, I got time today, and then goes all the way in. So I don't know how many times you got to do that with somebody. Also, there's this. When it comes to Cedric, though, when Cedric was playing in that joke, this is what gets me about Cedric. Cedric could have not said anything. But the way he responded said, oh, I didn't even know dude was Cat in the Hat back then. I don't even know if he's been doing comedy as long as I've been doing comedy. To me, when you take low-key little shots like that, that lets me know that you may be trying to big time somebody. And that will let me know that you might try to like feel like you could just lift somebody's joke. That gives that aura of that. So when it comes to people explaining stuff, I'm like, well, I don't really think that Kevin Hart got to explain anything to nobody. Because when I read his book, and since a lot of interviews, he blew up and fell off hella times. Like times when he thought he was lit and fell off, like a lot of people do. When it comes to Cedric, to me, low-key, I honestly believe, like, I kind of think that shit is really lame. I think it's lame. And I think that he lifted his pantomime. And I think that it's one of those things where when people are like bigger than other people, they lift something so smooth that they be like, in the way they think, because I've seen this before, they be like, oh, you don't need it. I'm already lit. We never gonna cross paths again. I'm not gonna see you no more. This makes my joke better. What you doing don't even matter. And here's the thing. Here's the thing though. When it comes to comedy, I'm gonna be 100 with you. Cedric putting that pantomime in that premise makes it it's better use of that pantomime.
I agree.
Honestly, it's not right, but it's better use of the pantomime because sometimes you just have a premise and an idea, and it's like, you crazy as Chucky. Like, you say you crazy as Chucky. Dell made that shit up. Anyone that doesn't know, Dell made it up.
I did
years ago.
Facts.
You crazy as Chucky. You crazy as Chucky. You crazy as Chucky. Someone takes the show and be like, hey, I'm gonna make a show about a nigga from Oakland that drives a scraper and works at Food Max. And he be selling old school albums, and he's really good at chess, right? He's trying to sell these old school albums so that he could go make a chess tournament. His name's Charles. We're gonna call it Crazy as Chucky.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be like, bro, these niggas stole my title in like half of my life. Like, yeah, nigga, but like, they're using it better.
Yeah, they are,
right?
Yeah.
So it's not right. It's not right, but I can understand how. Actually, there's a good premise for the show. Actually, I can see how like it's not right. It's not right, and I see Cedric's motivation, but it's not right. Before I go on, man, what are some couple other things you wanted to point out from it?
Man, I love that you said that. I do want to say this, just to kind of oppose what you just said about Kevin Hart.
Let me know.
I do agree. Kevin Hart has addressed this in his book. He did go on Breakfast Club and he did address this. My thing is about this is I'm not mad that he didn't address it like full on. I don't think that's what he should have did. I just think the shit that he did, like kind of like hosting the Sixers game and just to talk shit. Like it felt so like put together for that moment. It felt like, hey, we got to get Kevin on here. We got to get Kevin Hart on this thing and have him watching it from with his boys at the red plastic cup gang. They're gonna watch it, and then we're gonna have Kendrick Perkins bring out some shit to kind of like. It just felt like it was made to do this shit. That's why I don't like it. I felt like the shit was like either go on and do like how you did with Breakfast Club if you're gonna do it, if you need to. I didn't really, honestly, to be honest with you, felt like Kevin Hart didn't even need to really address it. I felt like out of everybody that was on there, he was the last person that needed to address anything. First off, you're right. He already kind of low-key beat Katt because when Katt already came out and he said all the stuff and they kind of had their little small beef or whatever. It wasn't small. It was a huge beef. It was a huge comedy beef. When they had their huge comedy beef, everybody kind of, most people, not everybody, most people went and said, nah, Kevin's been doing his thing. Let's be real. Kevin did this and this and this. More people spoke up for Kevin on that situation than was needed. We saw Kevin and then continue to have nothing but success since even then. So I didn't really think I just thought it was lame that you had to make a little, well, 4-4. I just thought that shit was lame. Like you didn't need to do that shit. That was almost beneath you in a way. You know what I mean?
He's a comic. He's a comic too, though, Dale.
He is a comic, right? But it's like, bro, I'm saying.
So it's like even Faison Love, even like Faison Love is like posting like old pictures of Katt getting beat up by 12-year-olds and shit, right?
Right.
And he's posting like Faison Love posted a picture of Katt's tickets on Groupon, right? Mm-hmm. And people are like, bro, like I've got new edition tickets on Groupon. Like I read the comments, right? And people are getting off on Faison, like going bad on him. So these people are still comics, Dale. So what do you want them like? What do you like? Versus to me, like the Ricky Smiley going on his radio show and talking about it for like 5-10 minutes. To me, and I guess everyone's gonna do it. Everyone's gonna do it how they're gonna do it. But Ricky Smiley going on and like re-explaining his story on his radio show and calling his agent and asking his agent to like verify how it happened. To me, that's what.
Yeah,
huh?
It's lame.
I think that's like, so if you're gonna be a comic, just I say make a joke and move on. I didn't see the Kevin Hart thing you're talking about, by the way. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, okay. Watch it and then I think not now, of course, but when you get an opportunity, watch it. And I think we may come to the conclusion that him doing it in a way was kind of lame. Like the way he did it. I'm only saying because I'm saying either you're gonna say, hey man, be clear. I'm Kevin Hart. I've never been a plant. Because all he really said was Kevin Hart was a plant. You know what I mean? And in reality, and I can understand how that can be offensive to someone. But right. I felt like Kevin Hart has shown through his body of work that he's obviously not a plant. We've seen Sofel playing. I've seen that show that he's talking about where he moves from some area from Philadelphia and he moves with his
Hart House
and he moves with his uncle or family member to go live there and he tries to get a job and all of this shit. And he's basically like some 20-year-old broke nigga trying to figure it out. So I've seen the shit. Yeah. It wasn't that funny. It's a lame ass show. The show probably had it did not do well. It did not do well. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I know he's failed, and this is the thing about anything. As much as we talk about this on the show, is failure is a part of success. You have to fail sometimes in order for your else to see how you can easily be successful. So I have no problem with Kevin Hart. I think he's amazing. I think he's an amazing comic. I think he's done his body of work is tremendous for what he came from. He's made nothing but greatness happen. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna sit on him and say Katt right. If he's a plant, fuck, let it be a plant doing a good job, motherfucker blooming over there, blossoming over there as a plant. You know what I mean? So shit, take some fucking notes. But I'm just saying, for this particular segment, I did not like this. And maybe when you see it, you might say the same thing, because it's just like I didn't like it. I thought it was dumb because you just got all your boys on there. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, I would have liked it more if it was like, the TNT crew. Let's say he was on there with Shaq, Ernie, Charles, or something like that, and he did that shit. That would probably be more funny to me if he did it. But you just giving your boys, and niggas just, because his boys is in there just sidelining like, yeah, like y'all niggas suck. Let me just tell you right now, none of y'all niggas made it. As far as it is, you know what I'm saying?
Well, technically,
they made it. I get it. I know you were going. I knew your ass was going to say it the moment I left that shit.
They have.
I'm just saying, they're nowhere near. They're not in the. They're not. Listen to me. These niggas is fighting at bars, right? And I'm like, if this is UFC, these niggas fighting at bars. when you got other niggas fighting in actual arenas, these niggas fighting at bars. Katt and Kevin Hart are fighting in arenas. So what I'm saying is they ain't made it to this particular battlefield yet. They made it. They there. You know what I'm saying? But you don't know none of their names, except in, like Spank, maybe. You know Spank?
Spank and Namir.
So you know two niggas. There's four of them.
Yeah.
So it's two niggas, and that's what I'm saying. It's like
I forget the fourth guy's name, but he's more of a writer than an actual comic. But the thing is that's the thing though. They're like, so here's my thing. I'm not okay with anyone responding to it. I don't think anyone should respond, other than like Ice Cube, maybe. But the thing is this, right? If they all comics and somebody dissed me, and I'm not gonna do the whole like Breakfast Club thing again. And you, my homie Tyler and Bubba are around. Hey, let's throw this shit together real quick. I'm not gonna call Ernie and Kenny and them and book some shit and see when the niggas can book it to do a T.
Based on how it looks.
Hear me out. You want me to call TNT Productions and go to Atlanta and do this shit with these other niggas that host games every night? No, they just do something together. Because here's the thing, Dale. I highly doubt that it's funny. I'm probably not gonna watch it. In fact, I didn't look up Kevin Hart's response. I didn't think that anyone should respond. I think that he went on there to say what he had to say in response to what other people like were saying. So I don't really think anybody should have said shit. My thing when it comes to Kevin Hart, I think if you were in this situation, you already did the shit Breakfast Club shit, but you weren't even going in like, nigga, this happened, blah blah blah, XYZ, all this happened. And then somebody disses you and you happy with your life, you would just put a little skit on with Rome to clown back.
No, because I've already said
just be like.
I already said my piece. In today's media, niggas is gonna go and find that anyway. They already found the Tiffany Haddish and him interview at Breakfast Club and put it out. Niggas already gonna do that. So let that be the way that it's gonna do, because you don't even need to say shit no more. Let them niggas do
your biggest problem is that the skit wasn't funny. That's the issue that you have with the response.
I don't like the response. I don't like it. I thought it was stupid. I thought it was lame. I thought the shit was lame. I thought it was lame because it's like, you're not even saying anything. You're just clowning on him, talking about his accolades. We don't know if that nigga can run a 4.4. I don't know if he can run a 4.4. Maybe he can.
You think he can run a 4.4?
No, I don't know though. They let her put up some footage of him. Burning a white woman.
I think that's the interesting part about it. It's like people are so like, and that's why I said I want you to open up with this, because this is your man's. So as I go through all the comments, right? As I go through the comments, I'm a huge Chris Rock fan, like 100%. Yeah, but people can say things about people can say bad things about Chris Rock, and I would agree if they're true. Same thing with Katt and Kevin Hart. I've seen a lot of their interviews. I think they have a lot of the same. I mean, have a lot of the same work ethic, but just different values. But when it comes to Kevin Hart, Katt Williams thing, it's so interesting how it turns into Palestine and Israel, and people have to choose a side. When I'm in these comments, it's like Katt only tell the truth. That nigga, I seen him read 3,000 books. No, you didn't. Like, come on, bro. Like the Katt Williams fans, like everything he said is true. It's not, bro.
It's not all true.
Like,
I can't say
relax,
that.
dog. So when you're like, I don't like that they made fun of his accolades. Some of his accolades are to be made fun of, Liddell. I'm sorry, bro. He going to he can run a 4.4 right now. Shannon Sharp was like, come on, man. 4.4 what? Come on, man. You could run a 4 foot long? What are you talking about? You read 3,000 books? Okay, man, cool. Like, got you. Cool. Like certain shit is like
by age 9.
Come on,
it was some wild shit.
And here's the thing, and I get it. I know people like that gotta speak in like more hyperbole to get their point across. Like, yo, I was an avid reader when I was younger.
Yeah.
I read like one summer month, I read 100 books. Got you. And that turns into higher and higher. And you start selling this number, it's like 3,000 books. He said it on the other podcast I listened to. He said 3,000 books. I read 3,000. And then even dude I was listening to, he was like, what was your favorite book? He's like, oh, just a LeBron answer. Like, okay, like
I mean, you read 3,000 books. Maybe you don't got a favorite. Maybe it's so many.
If I ask Township Tariq what's his favorite book, he's gonna tell me the fucking autobiography of Malcolm X.
And then he's gonna send it to you. Check it out right here. This is the one you asked me about.
If you read that much, you've read a couple things more than one.
Right.
And here's the thing: I'm not saying he's lying, but these Katt Williams fans that get like so offended that people like doubt the accolades is hilarious to me. Like that shit's funny. Like nigga, they making fun of his accolades. Yeah, nigga, you should make fun of his accolades. Anyone with sense would make fun of his accolades. Like, come on, man. Like, it can't be like, to me, it can't be that biased because for me, his accolades are already dope. Like the way he said he went to Oklahoma and like joined this tournament just to get some bread and then end up being on tour with these white dudes and got his chops doing comedy for white people before black people. Had to get used to doing comedy for black people because he felt like doing it for white folks was a little more easier. So I had to move to Oakland to get ready to move to LA. That's already a dope accolade. I ain't never heard nobody say nothing like that.
Yeah.
You hear people say, and especially for black people, because once you start telling jokes in black rooms, sometimes it can get like hard to cross over because some of the shit, our language don't translate all the time. Like some of our pantomimes and our slang. So the accolades are already dope. So when you put like the extra sauce on there, yeah, that shit's funny, man. Of course it's funny. But like y'all protecting the canon. You okay? Like we believe you. Like that's cool. But if Kevin Hart was there, nigga, they just both get ran over. But if I was there, I'm protecting the canon. All right, that's cool. Like, yeah, all right. I bought this lady in Hollywood Square. All right, that's cool. Now I run a 4.4 right now. Okay. right now?
At 52. But I mean...
But you mean what, Dell? But you mean what? And it's cool, but you can
live, man. Protect Katt, man, at all costs, man. That nigga's a real one.
No, I get it. You one of these comment niggas. Protect him at all costs. The interesting thing is, I think the coldest part about Katt Williams and Kevin Hart is it's wild because when it comes to them, I only really like one of their specials, and the ones everyone he likes, I don't really like that one. When it comes to Katt, everybody likes the Pimp Chronicles or whatever. My shit is pimping, but it's more about like self-esteem. It's like motivational. It's like hella gems in it, like genuine like gems. And some of my Katt Williams fan friends, they don't really like this pimping. They don't feel like he was doing the most on there, but I like that one a lot. When it comes to Kevin Hart, I think the one I like the most is I think when he's talking about how when he worked at a call center, this guy was buff. He's wearing like one of those old school cargo shirts with the buttons on it. It may be called Seriously Funny, the one that he had to like fund on his own. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to their work ethic, I think just have different values. So obviously we have this dress Hollywood thing, right?
Yeah.
And like Kevin Hart has taken some parts other people wouldn't take.
Right.
So Dale, me and you haven't been that far in Hollywood. You've been further than I have. However, I just know working in customer service, when someone asks you to work extra hours, you already know. Based on your response, that's gonna make or break your future.
Mm-hmm.
You already know. It depends on the person. And if your values say, nah, bro, I'm off, nigga, I got shit to do tonight, then that's your choice. You be like, nah, I'm gonna work. I'll stay over. I'll stay over. No. Dell, let's take it. Let's take it outside of compliance. Let's be 100. When you already clocked out and he's like, hey, can you just do this thing real quick?
That's a good way.
Can you just do this thing real quick? After you already clocked out, can you do this thing real quick? Like, bro, they said in HR, we're not supposed to be doing shit like this. And there's always one thing that's like, nah, bro, I'm off, bro, I'm out. Or no, I'll do it. Hey, can you just one thing real quick? Then I always ask, can you just one thing just real quick? Just clock out real quick because we're gonna go over. What? For real? I've done it. As I got older, I rejected it. But certain shit like that, people be ask you to do shit that they know they shouldn't ask you to do, and you do it because you're trying to get on. Yeah. And on the other end, it's like, no, I don't want to do that. So then this person get more hours, this person vacation get approved, X, Y, Z, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's what happens. I'm not gonna get all in that gay shit, but that's what happens in Hollywood with a sense where it's like, nah, wear this dress. Dave Chappelle said that. And is it Money Streak? Mm-hmm. What's the movie with Martin when he becomes a cop? Blue Streak. And Dave Chappelle's his cousin. He got to get him out of jail or some shit like that. Mm-hmm. Dave Chappelle said during the casting, like, and no, wear this dress though. Dave Chappelle's like, nah, like, I don't even see how that's funny. Like, how do you want to dress right now? Be funny? Like, I don't get it. No, you should just do it. It's like, nah, I'm cool. And then Dave Chappelle still did the movie and did well in his career, and I got away to do a show. But what if the writer was a dick and was like, okay, Dave Chappelle, hard to work with. Mm-hmm. Like, even now you hard to work with, you don't want to wear a dress.
Especially for man.
So I think that's and here's the thing. We talking about black folks. We talking about black folks. However, I believe that shit, but I believe that shit's tough for everybody. In fact, I'll give you an example. I finally watched Snowfall, Dale. Shout out to you and Tariq. That shit's incredible. That shit, I'll get into another time, but that shit rivals Breaking Bad and Sopranos. It's an incredible show. But there's this part. The show's 6 seasons long. 6 seasons, 10 episodes every season, an hour each episode. So it's 60 hours.
A whole fucking movie every episode.
It's 6 seasons, 10 episodes. Shit, 600 hours? Mm-hmm. 60 hours. Whatever. I'm not doing my math right now. But, nigga, hold on. What is 10 times 6? 60. Okay, 60 hours of television. Yeah. All right, look. And they're in the FBI office, Dale, and some shit pops off or whatever. And there's this one white guy. Dale, I've never seen this guy in my life. I've never seen him, Dale. Not one time. I've never seen him. Dale, you know what his line was?
What?
A white dude with the paper walks up to this guy. The guy takes the paper and says, the nigger killed his father? And dude says,
oh, yeah. Yup.
And that's it. And I'm like, what's this guy? Yep. And Dale never saw him again. And I'm like, bro, that was your line? Mm-hmm. Now what if his daughter-in-law is black?
Right.
And they're like, what? Your dad did, that's the one line in the biggest show in the world. But what do you do? Like, don't really gotta say nigger. Like, I understand this is the FBI. I'll try to give a point across, but what's my point? And like, can I just say, damn, Franklin did that? Or there's no other right? No, you gotta say the N-word. So it being like, bro, is this necessary? And for me, as a black dude, it wasn't necessary. I'm sure for white folks, it wasn't necessary. But somebody wrote that, and dude just had to do it. Yeah. He just had to do it. And Dale, that was the only line in the whole shit. 60 hours of television.
I know what you're talking about too. So yeah, I know exactly what you're
talking about. I think, and that's not a dress. However, I would think to a white person,
it is.
To a white person that isn't
racist,
gung ho about saying the N-word.
Yeah.
They'd be like, fuck, why do I gotta be that white guy?
Right.
For no reason. So for me, I respect both these dudes like a lot. Even when Kevin Hart did his first response, like, man, you gotta let that anger go. By the way, just so y'all know, I'm touring XYZ.
Yeah.
I didn't even like that response. So for me, bro, I'm down with both of these dudes. But I think some of you Katt Williams fans, y'all gotta let the anger go a little bit. Y'all gotta let it go, bro. Y'all gotta.
I feel you. Now let's shift a little bit, because I mean it's hard to say that in relevance to Kevin Hart. I agree with you. It's hard to argue to Kevin Hart. But everybody else that he talked about, I think he stood on business. I think he stood on business,
bro. For everybody else that he talked about. For everyone else talked about, I'm gonna say, bro, he put on a clinic. He put on a clinic because I don't know the story between him and Faison, like the gun story, but I just know that like about a year ago, Faison called Katt Williams overrated. Mm-hmm. Now, I think it's an interesting thing. I don't think that's the right word. I think that Faison's probably surprised that Katt has his relevancy has lasted this long, because I don't think Katt Williams is underrated. He's underground just like Mike Epps. I mean, here's the thing. part of his, even though he said he not on there to sell nothing, he did an incredible job for people that are like fans of his. Because if you were paying attention, you know Katt Williams is performing in Inglewood May 5th. Mm-hmm. If you were paying attention at the Netflix is a Joke Festival, he dropped it so smooth. Like he said it so, but he put it in the story about how he used to live in Inglewood. He don't act gangster. He push a baby cart with a gun. People just knew who he was. He's like, I'm not a blood, I'm not a Crip, I'm just a dad. That's why I'm gonna be in Inglewood performing, but that's not, but kind of where I grew up at. But he said it so smooth, like not even said it so smooth, which is the opposite way Kevin Hart did it, right?
Yeah.
Like you gotta let the anger go. By the way, so and so movie coming out, blah, 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 whatever. But I love the way Katt did that. And when I looked at this, you look at the specials, like, yeah, man, like he's like an icon.
Yeah.
He's a legend. Face on like he's not a legend because look at Eddie Murphy. I mean, you can compare anyone to Eddie Murphy. However, if we want to talk about Eddie Murphy's run, we talking about like a couple specials and 1,000 movies, but we can't get him back on stage.
Right.
So we talk about Katt Williams. If we talk about Katt Williams, we go, it's Pimpin' and Pimp Chronicles next Friday, and then he just doesn't take jobs because he happens to be in jail because of gun charges. I mean, at this point, are we kind of just talking about a nigga that could have did all that, but like didn't want to? Yeah, man, he's a legend. He's a legend. He's a legend and hasn't even taken all the work that he probably should have gotten. However, I just don't like the way that some of the Katt fanatics, I'll be like blackballed. When I don't think he's blackballed, I think he just does what he wants to do. And what I mean by that is like when he explained, like, yeah, if I walk around the city for 15 minutes, so I can see what's popping in the city so I can go tell my jokes. When I walk around the city, I be in the city. So I'm in the city, I be in the hood. So I have my gun. So if you pull me over 10 out of 10 times, 10 out of 10 times I'm gonna have my gun with me.
Right.
Okay. So you get locked up and you can't make it somewhere. And that's life. So but those are choices. So I don't like the word like, oh, he got blacklisted. Like that shit is wild to me because he lives a lifestyle that he wants to live. He said he's good. They said they Googled his net. He said people pull up his net worth. He said, I had that on me. Yeah. So he's doing fine. So like the whole like blacklisted thing, I think it's whack. I think he just moves the way that he want to move. When it comes to Ricky Smiley thing, did you see the Ice Cube thing that I sent you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought I sent you that. I didn't send that to you first.
Nah. So this is part of my Katt story, elaborate like Katt story exaggeration that I be talking about, right? Now, Katt said, I sat down with him. I was like, yo, y'all gotta rewrite this and y'all gotta make it in a way because it's not gonna be funny if that happens. And we gotta change it because ain't nothing funny about that. And it turns out he was like, nah, the plier thing was always in there. We didn't rewrite that. We wouldn't have put that in that type of movie anyway. And I honestly don't even think that within a Friday movie, it don't really seem like something that would be in a Friday movie anyway, as silly as Friday movies are. Like it don't seem like, even though during Ice Cube's explanation, Ice Cube was like, I wouldn't even put nothing like that in the movie. I mean, I did do Players Club, but that's left up to y'all imagination. I won't put nothing like that on camera because that's for y'all imagination. No, dude went in there, JR or JT, whoever went in there and did that. Junior went in there and did that. We could tell. Like, we could tell.
Know exactly what happened. We heard it.
Right. We know exactly what happened. Like, Junior. Junior, you getting married. We seen it. So the way Cube explained it and the way that Ricky Smiley explained it, you could tell that Katt did punch up the part because Ice Cube said, yeah, Ricky Smiley was gonna play Get Money Mike. Mm-hmm. And then Ricky Smiley said, yeah, the Money Mike dude was supposed to be somebody that was just around the spot. Like Ricky Smiley said, like a crackhead, it's more just around there, like Get Money Mike. Like the nigga from How High, right? Just around. Yeah. And
I need money.
And then Katt Williams changed the whole part to a pimp, ordered the clothes, everything, which is crazy, which is dope. And I think you already get your accolades for that. But talk about, I changed the whole script. It was gonna be a rape scene at the end in a Christmas movie. I think one white dude was like, what if he gets raped in there? It's like, nah, you can't put that in there. I think that might have been a coffee table conversation. That's like, what if they went in and he did that to him? Like, nah, we're not doing that disgusting shit. That's crazy. Yeah. But to be like, I'll call everybody together. And I said, listen, y'all, I know comedy and I got pool. If it's one thing
I
I
don't know
know,
a lot of things. Yeah, you gotta
if
make
it's
sure
one thing I know,
it's coming.
I don't think that happened. I don't think it happened. I think the same way. I think the same way how like you'll go to a court, y'all be playing at 21, you'll put up 10 out of 21. Y'all lose by 4. Your last 4 shots almost go in. You be like, nigga, I had all the points.
Never happened.
Y'all lose 20. Y'all lose 21 to 17. Dell, you have 10. Your last 4 shots. Nigga, we lost, but I had all the points. 10 out of 17 is a lot.
Yeah.
But you like, nigga, I had all the points. All of them. Because it's over 50%. So it's certain shit like that where it's like, Katt Williams fans be like, yup, that nigga discovered America. Like, bro, like, relax. Like,
No, but I do. I don't think that. Yeah, I agree with you on the rape scene. I don't think that just based on me seeing pretty much most of Ice Cube's films, I do think he would have left it not to the imagination, but left it like out. Like I don't think they would have added that in because it wouldn't. I can't even see that shit being funny at all. Like it wouldn't even been funny. But I do like how Ice Cube explained it though. He was like, it was a point where in Friday After Next, it was 3 bad guys. You got Santa Claus, you got Money Mike, and you got Damien. So of course, Craig can't fight all 3 of these niggas. So we had to kind of find a way to have 2 niggas at least eliminate themselves. And I think that because he said the Pliers thing was always in there, and I agree with that. I think that the Pliers thing is always in there. Just knowing them at that time, how black people were, most black people in the hood has a pair of pliers on their fucking toilet seat like that. That's a common ass thing to happen. So it was very believable that would be happening. You know what I mean? I thought what happened I thought what happened already alluded to that he might have got raped. You know how like when he's like, hey man, he's like somebody's in here. I'm working with a monster. You know what I mean?
right.
And then he walks in. He's like, yeah, nigga, what's up, fish? And then he throws off, and then the lights go off, and then they go to another scene. So they pan over to another scene. That was already had you thinking, oh damn, what's happening there? You know what I mean? And then of course you find out he wakes up. He's like, what's up? I want your ass woke for this. And he's like, oh okay. And it's like all of that shit make hella sense. I see that already being written in. I already see that being written in. So I can already see that. And then knowing Terry Crews and how he feel about his sexuality, I just can't see that them trying to push that narrative of like, yeah, you gonna rape this little nigga. Like, nah, it wouldn't even been funny. Nobody wants to see no big ass, bulky ass
nobody
nigga.
want to see that.
Nobody want to see that shit. So I don't believe that happened. I believe he might have said that shit on some high shit in his trailer. Like, I don't know what they talking about. Niggas is gonna get raped. And for funny shit, to say Ricky Smiley would have been a nigga to get raped because Ricky Smiley's weird dresses and shit. Right. So like that was a funny to hit you with shit. Like he was a nigga that wanted to get raped. Like I already know that's Katt being funny, throwing another shot at a nigga, saying, nigga, you the type of nigga that would have got raped. I'm the nigga that's gonna stand there and get the pliers. That's where we're 2 different niggas at.
Right.
And I thought that was metaphorically for to say something like, you're the type of nigga that'll let a nigga tell you belong at this part. I'm the type of nigga to make the part. That's the difference on what I thought he was saying. So and that's
exactly. So I think part of that story is for the part of the story is part of for his own comedic effect. If you blend them enough, all that shit sounds great. Especially when Katt Williams is like, oh yeah, Ricky Smiley kept running around saying he's supposed to have a part the whole movie, talking about he's supposed to play that part, he's supposed to play that part. Which the only reason anybody would ever know that Ricky Smiley was going to play that, only reason Katt Williams would know that is if Ricky Smiley had said something about it. So he had to say something about it. Yeah. Once he found out, they liked Katt a little bit more. I'm gonna do this part. You must have told somebody about it, even if you wasn't crying about it the whole time. You had to tell somebody, right?
Exactly.
So at that point, so I mean, I get it, but that's what I'm saying. Like this is hyperbole and like exaggeration used for comedic effect.
Yeah.
So and honestly, the way I could see if they wrote it as a dude that's just around there, if a dude is just around there just getting money or whatever, he just getting money. And then KD Albert works in the store. She running the store, and the dude is just bugging her or whatever. Mm-hmm. I guess I could see it or whatever. But the thing is, the reason Friday After Next is even good reason it's even good. It would be
And I remember you don't even like this one.
It used to be my worst Friday.
Oh,
okay.
My worst Friday. You change your heart.
It used to be my worst Friday. Now it's the second best one.
Okay.
I used to hate this one. I used to hate it like with a passion, just because all the outtakes, all the previews in it are so corny and stupid. Like slap your mom, and it's just too many people in there. Like DC Curry and Pop shouldn't be working together in a restaurant. It just doesn't make any sense. It's silly. Like,
but that's part of the funniness.
And the buddy guy there.
Oh yeah.
Silly.
Come on, buddy.
But like after I got older, and then watch like next Friday again. The next Friday storyline is horrible. It doesn't make it's
no
horrible.
sense. This nigga moves. Come on, man. I've been saying that for years. This nigga moved to Rancho Cucamonga, but somehow Debo gets out of jail, breaks out of jail with some sheets. He don't even break out of jail with some sheets. Him and his brother break out of jail. They ride a bike to get to fucking Pop's truck. They end up tricking Pops. Pops ain't gonna call nobody back to find out what's going on with Craig. He literally just gonna drive back. Fuck work. I got fuck these dogs. I gotta get to my son. Go figure it out. He still got shit on his back. Like it's just so much shit. Yeah, nah. You can tell.
It's really, and but the movie as a whole, like, so for that particular movie, Michael Blackson and Day kill Michael Blackson, Day and Pinky kill it in the whole record store. Yeah. You take the record store out of the movie, you don't have a movie.
You don't got a movie,
right? But for Friday,
even Roach.
For next, I think it'll be even Roach, yeah. But for Friday for next, when you take Katt Williams out, you can almost tell that, like, the way Katt Williams' character is written, that he wrote it because his character carries the movie, and he doesn't. It's like he played his character so on point, and Terry Crews played their character so on point that they both carried the movie. Yeah, like completely carried it. Here's the thing: you can do the first Friday with like you can do the first Friday with like a different Debo, or maybe another Debo, or maybe Debo technically in the first Friday, Debo ain't even got to be in the movie.
You could do it with the Joker Brothers.
Yeah, what I mean by the first Friday is so good the way it's written and the storyline and Bernie Mac and all these niggas and the dwarf and all that. They could just be looking for money and never find it. And Big Worm would shoot him. We almost don't even need a bully. All we get from Debo is my mama gave me that chain because Debo takes it. But without Terry Crews and Katt Williams, Friday for next, it ain't even. They played. That's what I mean. When you compare the writing to Katt Williams' character to the writing of the movie, it almost doesn't even match. That's what I mean by we put Ricky Smiley in that part. It's like, all right, cool.
I can't even see Ricky Smiley.
What are we doing? Well, but Dell, he wouldn't even be in that he wouldn't have been the person. Yeah. That the character wouldn't have been in the movie.
Right. He would have just been a standby nigga, like keep it dry, bitches, or some shit like that. He probably wouldn't even said that voice. He would have been like on some like he would have basically been Lil Daryl. He would have been Lil Daryl as a pimp. Right. You know who Lil Daryl is? Ricky Smiley's old character. Yes. Lil Daryl. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I think the thing that happened with Katt, right? This what happened with Katt. Even though this happened with Katt. Steve Urkel was just supposed to be a guest on Family Matters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Supposed to be a guest. Jaleel White was supposed to be there. Yeah. And when Jaleel White's character didn't even match the writing of the show. Right. Because he's just carrying the shit. But for Katt, it's like, yo, it's like Katt changed the character so much that Ice Cube still calls the character what the character was originally named. Yeah. Ice Cube and his response like, yeah, so and so is gonna play Get Money Mike. Yeah. That was still what Ice Cube named the character. Yeah. Katt Williams said his name's gonna be Money Mike. It just makes more sense. Katt Williams didn't say that, but that's what he's called throughout the movie. It's just Money Mike. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. So yeah, man, he did work. I can't say Ricky Smiley's that character because the character wouldn't have been written that way. But when it comes to like the hyperbole of I called everybody together and I told them that we're going to take the scene out. Here's the thing. If everything that the underground niggas say about Illuminati being true in Hollywood, why would they take it out? Right. They want to make us wear dresses and make us look bad and put us in and make us and make us naked and make us slaves. Why would they take it out? Like, why? Because they can do anything.
Yeah. They
So
can.
what? You know what I
And
mean?
then even
So-
and to speak on that too, I mean, because to even go further in on that, Katt Williams gonna say, and I made sure that if I ever did a movie with Ricky Smiley again, that nigga was gonna wear a dress. What was his next movie? First Sunday. And what was he doing? Wearing a dress.
Come on, man. Shit. So why would you do that, man? Like, why would you? And that to me, and here's the thing.
That's his best character. That's his best character. That's what he fits good at.
But why would that? And that's my thing. Like, why you telling? So you telling me? So this is what I mean by like making jokes on hyperbole, because you telling me that they both went out for this movie again or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then Ricky Smiley's like, hey, y'all got a part from it? It's like, yeah, but you got to wear a dress because Katt Williams' contract says if you ever in a movie with him again, you got to wear one. Ricky Smiley was like, okay, really? Like, really? Come on, man. Come on. And I put it in my contract.
Hey, but what if they didn't tell him? It was like, yeah, we want you to be Bernice. All right, well, I'll be Bernice. I love being Bernice. Like, but he took I just gotta say this, bro. Katt Williams, you a goat for this shit. Because you made yourself so and it's so, and I will say this, like whether you want to laugh about the Katt Williams fans or whatever, I like that niggas is coming to his defense. Because niggas been hating on Katt for so long. Like, so it's
fuck no, Dell. No. I'm cutting you off. I'm cutting you off because you're doing. I'm gonna let you live, but I'm gonna tell the listeners you're doing the same thing to do with
what
J. Cole. You're doing the same thing. There's y'all exist, dog. Like y'all exist. I'll give you the. He been getting hated on for so long. Stop, bro. Stop, bro. You underground.
He been hated on, fam.
Go ahead.
Niggas be hating on Katt, boy. They be hating on Katt. He be on drugs. Like he said, where's the one nigga that done drugs with Katt? They ain't got no nigga. They ain't where that story at. Why ain't got no niggas with him doing drugs? Because look, even to the point where he roasted Wanda. When he roasted Wanda on the radio show, I know you seen that shit. And she was like, yeah, because you always in jail. And he roasted her ass. Like, that is a common speculation that he's always in jail. And yes, he has went to jail, but niggas ain't trying to ride on that shit. Like, he went to jail, he did this, he did that. He like, even Kevin Hart in his response is like, because he was doing drugs. Because he chose drugs over his pants. Like, that's what he said in his response when he was on 106 in Park. That's hating. So I like that niggas joined in the factor to be like, no, Katt been telling the truth. Because one thing I will say about Katt, I know you don't favor this one, but in Pimp Chronicles, he talks about how at this point, because this was kind of like most niggas who made fun of the war, the Iraq war, when they made fun of it, they simply would talk about it in a way where it was like kind of like making fun of Muslims. It always would make fun of the Muslims. It always would go in and saying some shit like that, right? Honestly, I felt like for me, this is just me. This is my perception. He's the first nigga that I ever saw to take that joke, switch it, talk about America in a bad light on how they are doing with this war shit, how they are seeking oil, how they are, niggas didn't even know what a surgeons was type shit. He's always been a type of a nigga that kind of like think outside the box when he comes to jokes. So it's good to see that this nigga's like getting back. And I hope it does similarly to what Will Smith's slap did to Chris Rock. I hope it does bring him more fan base and niggas line up and go see his show because they want to hear what he got to say again. I hope it does. I hope it brings the dollars in his pockets. Because even when you watch Wildin' Out, where him and Kevin Hart both have this like, I will say Kevin Hart has a bigger presence on Wildin' Out. When he comes to Wildin' Out, niggas is happy to fuck to see Kevin Hart. But when Katt goes on there too, he has a big ass presence. I love that shit. I love that niggas love to see Katt Williams and he's still doing his thing and he's rocking. But I just really want to see my nigga win for a second, man. Let that nigga win, man.
That's the
win, man.
Conflict with y'all. He's winning. He just said he don't
win, baby.
He said he don't want nothing. That's why that's kind of that's the problem that I have when I be wanting to be entertained. And then some fans got to make people such martyrs.
Y'all niggas.
Can we just say this person is great? Like they do this with Jokic. When Jokic don't talk about basketball, like, oh, so humble. Like, it's just so good to see somebody, just not really like basketball, but be around. Like, it's just hella cool.
Let
just,
LeBron say that shit.
You're just so down. Like, let LeBron. Like, they was mad when LeBron said he's not worried about the Christian game. He went up against with his daughter. He ain't no goat. He ain't no goat. So y'all people want to make people martyrs. Like, just good to see Katt get his Katt been on tour.
Yeah.
Katt already said.
Nah, Katt went in.
Katt already said he makes millions of dollars. I'm glad. Here's the thing. This is what I'm happy about. I'm glad he went on there and just did a real interview.
Yeah.
Complete. I'm glad. Here's the thing. I'm glad he went on there and did a real interview. He did it with Shay Shay. And the reason I think it's dope that he did it with Shay Shay is because Shay Shay can become. I haven't heard anyone say this shit. I'll be the first one to say it. Shay Shay is going to be our
Go ahead,
Vlad.
Yep.
He's going to be our Vlad. Because a 3 hour, I'm sitting in Cam, because I sat through the 3 hour Charleston White interview for some reason.
Cam is doing a great job.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's give Cam his flowers right now.
And the dope thing about these dudes is that they're on camera with the person. The Vlad should seem like such an interrogation.
Right.
So for him to sit through the interview with Katt Williams, Katt was like, yo, I got some things to address, and pull up and just address for 3 hours everything he got to address. I think that shit is dope. I just had these Katt Williams fans telling me, here's the thing, I'm a Katt Williams fan, I'm not a fanatic. Like, oh man, he been underrated for so long. He is exactly where he want to be. He said he don't want nothing. He said he been writing shows with people he don't ask for no money. He been doing these people he don't ask for nothing. So he's a martyr himself. But don't give me the whole, bro. Like people wasn't rocking with him before. Yeah, though, you don't want to know why. You know why?
Because he wasn't doing shit.
I'm not gonna say he wasn't doing shit, but I'm just gonna say, like, did you watch his last special?
Yeah, it wasn't that good. I'll be honest.
When did it drop? 2020?
Yeah.
2021?
Yeah, I forgot that. I don't know the exact date, but I know it wasn't, because I didn't probably see it when it first dropped out.
I think it was 2020 or 2021. Yeah, he had COVID stuff in there when all the COVID stuff had already been done.
Yeah.
So, and then he was saying in this other interview that I listened to, this guy he only interviewed, Mark Maron. He only interviews comedians. Really good, Mark Maron. He interviewed him. He did an hour and a half interview with Katt, and Katt's talking about how he doesn't go to mics anymore. So he writes at home because he doesn't want people like stealing his stuff, because he's seen people take his jokes before. And because he does that, it seems like when he went out that night, a lot of that stuff hadn't been like tested correctly and like the way where it was supposed to hit. So his last special was it. I appreciate the work and appreciate the volume, but it just wasn't. It wasn't like what it used to be, which let me know that he's doing great. Because once these people start doing great, once they start killing, it's only so many dudes, like once they start like killing shit and getting money, that their comedy stays crisp like that.
Right.
It's only similar. I just saw Dave Chappelle's last special. It was good. Chris Rock's, when I saw Chris Rock live, I liked it more than the live one on Netflix, but it's still good. The thing he did with Kevin Hart, the documentary, was cool. But I think Katt, for him to say like, I don't go out to mics, I don't go out to practice anymore because people steal shit, I think it takes away from him actually getting better. Because you can ask anyone that, it takes away from that. Like Kevin Hart, they should probably just pop up random places and try to run through a set to see if they get the laughs. But Katt says he don't do that shit no more.
Yeah.
So for y'all saying he's underrated.
World War III,
2021? 2022. Okay. So for those of y'all saying he's underrated and he's not getting his flowers, I mean,
he's getting his flowers. Let's be 100. Let's be 100.
Yeah, you need to relax.
No, he's getting his flowers. I mean, of course, I'm hyped
emotional.
up.
You're emotional.
I'm hyped up. I'm hyped up about him.
You Katt Cole fans, you Jay Williams fans.
Let me tell you this though. Let me tell you why I'm hyped up about him. Not just the fact that he's Katt Williams, but also this is one thing I really loved about his interview. This is the one thing that really stood out to me a lot, and I love this person's interview. He gave Mark Curry his flowers. Mark Curry, yeah, if y'all don't know, hanging with Mr. Cooper, you feel me? He's done so much. He's an Oakland staple. He is one of those comedians. He is one of those Oakland icons who does get overlooked a lot. You know what I mean? So it was kind of dope to see somebody like shout him out right now and say, yeah, bro, basically Steve Harvey's went and stole his whole shit. And the crazy thing is, I never even thought about that. I never even thought, I watched both Hanging with Mr. Cooper and of course the Steve Harvey show, and never even thought to be like, wow, this is literally the same shit. This is the same shit. This is kind of the same shit. It's not as much the same shit, because I will say this. Here's where here's where I will say, and I will disagree with Katt on. I was just happy that he said Mark Curry's name. But Steve Harvey's show focuses more on what's happening at the school than it does in the home life. Hanging with Mr. Cooper happens to deal with a lot more what's happening in Mark Cooper's home life, and some students happen to come over. But reality is, it's not really like, I wouldn't say it's the same exact thing, because then of course, like in Steve Harvey, he has his best friend who also works at the school. He's an he's an ex-musician who goes back, but like the premise, right? Like the premise, ex-musician goes back to school, becomes the music teacher. Ex-basketball player goes back to school, becomes a history teacher. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of the same premise, but overall, I was just more so happy that Mark Cooper was even mentioned, and that Mark Curry was like so highlighted in his life, because I felt like he didn't get no shots, and it was just dope to get to see that, because I like Mark Curry. Mark Curry's dope. I know you have a like for him too.
I like that when I hear like official OG comedians like mention the OGs that I know. That's dope to me, because sometimes people only mention OGs that are already famous, and you'd be like, man, okay, so you know famous people, but to know that Katt Williams knows Mark Curry, I mean, makes sense. He said he was in Oakland for a minute.
Yeah,
I think that,
and that he helped him write the pantomime joke. Like, he helped with that.
Yeah, he said he punched it up for him.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like, when it comes to the whole black folks doing that, like pantomime, I mean, like they driving a car, big ass whip or whatever. I could see Mark Curry putting in on that.
Yeah.
But somebody to take that whole pantomime and put it in something else, it's wild, B. It's wild. So I mean, the only stray I think somebody caught that was just completely undeserved, like 100% undeserved. The only stray that I think was just blatantly undeserved. People minding their own business. I think Ludacris didn't deserve that. I don't know. I don't think Luda deserved that, bro. I got
something to say about Luda too.
Like, I don't think Luda deserved it.
He didn't. And then
I like
only one nigga who could have sideburns, and you see. You like his response? Is that what you about to say?
His bars?
Yeah.
I like this bars because he just be randomly rapping all the time.
Yeah.
If he hasn't rapped in like years, I'd be like, Luda, calm down. But he always just be he.
It don't matter what it is. He'll rap.
He
drops
some random shit he be rapping all the time anyway. So I'm with it. I'm with it.
No, I was gonna say, the bars was cool. I like the bars. I thought it was good. I thought that was actually a good way to just respond. Like, fuck it, I'm gonna respond with the shit y'all know I do. You know what I mean? And they need to check their temperature. Like, it was clean. It was cool. It was funny. I thought it was cool. And Luda's funny in general. Ludacris is like one of those rappers who could have been a comedian on some shit, right? Like, so it's dope to see. But overall, yeah, he did catch it. He caught a fucking strike for sure. He didn't even deserve that shit. He was just chilling. Like, imagine just being here, like, oh, they got my nigga Katt on here. Oh, what?
And what did he say? He said him and Ludacris put up to a party, and they said they both looked the same, and said whoever one of y'all can get 10 movies, but you gotta sell your soul. Or?
Yeah, you gotta sell your soul, and you gotta and because y'all both can't have you gotta get rid of your sideburns with the points. Like,
this type of shit I'm talking about. If you mix enough stuff in there. You mix enough stuff. This is why a lot of times it does you no good to, like, every insult doesn't deserve a response.
Right.
So if you're gonna respond, probably the best thing you could do is respond comedically, because when you respond in a way that you try to make sense of it, you're gonna look worse. Now, Ice Cube being a producer, I get it. Like, it's good. Like, and I think his response was cool. Ice Cube was like, yo, people say they don't get paid. Look at your career was and look at where it is now. And also, he's also like, everybody gets paid in my movies. I had to pay the post-production and pre-production. I never put no bullshit on the screen. And I'm like, he's right. All right. A lot of times when Ice Cube's making a movie, you don't know how much you're gonna make from the movie. So it's like, this movie did really great. And we hear this a lot when it comes to record sales and record companies, people getting hustled like, nigga, my single did this. I only got this much bread. Like, yeah, the company didn't know that you was gonna make that much bread. If they did, They probably still wouldn't have paid you at that. However, if they didn't, you wouldn't have got. You wouldn't. You would still keep your money. So I think it's interesting that people that take these parts from Ice Cube and be like, man, he didn't even pay me nothing. Well, now that you see it's a movie's a cult classic, yeah, everyone wants millions and millions of dollars from Friday. It's like a soul plane type of thing. That shit wasn't popping in the theaters. It's a cult classic. So to me, I think when it comes full circle, I'm really glad he did an interview. It's great to see him. Really great to see him. And the thing is I'm really glad he did the interview because it was almost getting to a point where for me, Charleston White was like trying to like replace Katt Williams.
I know.
Like a short, like a smaller stature, say anything, light skin, confident nigga, older. I'm like, where's the real Katt Williams at, nigga? Like, who's this clone? Not that Charleston White ever said anything about it. I'm just like, bro, what's happening? What's happening right now? So I'm glad Katt did that. I don't know. Katt didn't say that's why he did it. I hope that's why he did it. So you'd be like, bro, like, I can't have a nigga just out here like low key, like masquerading as me, low key, like shit ain't cool. So,
but saying shit, I really wouldn't say though, because like, you know what I mean? Like,
of course. But then Charleston White started doing comedy.
Yeah. So you really can't let that go on.
Yeah, let me pull up. I don't know. Maybe Katt was one of his like blunt rolling bitches, and there's like a Katt. That nigga look like you. What are you talking about?
Shut up, bitch. Keep it dry, ho.
He did give me. He did say some shit about some weed that was funny as fuck that I never thought about. I'm not a smoker, so I never thought about this. He said, yeah, I have a woman roll my blunts. He's like, because like if I smoke thousands of blunts, and if I have a man roll my blunts, that's just a lot of man's saliva. I'm like, damn, I never thought about it like that. Like, because he's talking about, he's like, I outsmoke Snoop. And people are saying, Snoop got a blunt roller, Snoop got a professional blunt roller. When you think about it, it's like, damn.
A lot of man's saliva. That's a lot of man's saliva. Yeah. Honestly, he made me rethink it. Like, nigga, I don't even know if I want to smoke after that nigga no more. Like, when he said that shit, I was like, damn. Like, if I roll up again, nigga, I gotta make sure my bitch roll my shit. Can't be
or you, or the baby, or the baby.
Just roll that shit up, Aquila. Like, get that shit rolled.
Just because that's hella saliva. That's wild.
Hella saliva, bro. So yeah.
Hella. That's like if I went. That's like every time I went to the bar, I was just sharing a bottle with a nigga. Every time I go to the bar, like,
right. Here, nigga, here. Yeah. That's so stupid.
Yeah, man. No, it was. I'm happy with it, bro. It's interesting that this shit inadvertently. I'm happy that he did an interview.
Me too.
Just really happy, man. Because sometimes it's too much of this. There's too many people popping up doing interviews with people that aren't ready for the interview.
Mm-hmm.
And there's too many people doing interviews with people that they probably shouldn't be spending much time with. What I mean by that is like Charleston White talking to Cam. It's cool. Watch the whole thing. But I'm just saying, like, for Cam's platform to be so dope, get somebody else.
Right.
Like, don't like you literally put dude on here because he popping, Cam. Like, you could do better, Cam. Like, you could do better.
Definitely.
You could do better. And but I see what you
get. Imani,
I'm not gonna get all the views, and I get it, like, cool, but Cam, like, and there's other times where you have somebody like super ill. I'll say this, super ill talking to somebody that I don't think is ready for the interview. Like, there's certain times where when I used to watch like a comedy hype interview, I'm like, yo, the sound and the way this is produced and the question you're asking, y'all not ready for this. When I say not ready, though, I mean like you're more co-signing than asking questions.
Yeah. I
don't want to hear like a co-sign adventure.
Yeah, you're right.
Versus Shannon, who did such a good job at
letting him speak.
Number one, just letting him talk and not cutting off. And number two, being so stoic while he was saying certain shit that was funny. And number three, like laughing at the right times. Because the thing is this, if you do an interview with somebody and you laugh at their jokes too much, it looks fake and also looks like you're co-signing. And he's like, yeah, Ludacris and his big face, weird wife. And I don't remember if Shannon laughed hard at that or if he looked at the camera, but the times when he would laugh, it would be about things that were like neutral. Yeah. It'd be neutral things where it's like, okay, everyone to watch this. I'm still holding my ground where I'm not sitting here like, Everything you say is hella funny, or just sitting there staring at him with no good questions and asking like follow-up questions as well. This shit is Shannon. He killed the shit. He did a legit job. Legit, absolutely legit. Had dope questions. He was, man, I don't even know how that was 3 hours.
Right.
So
no, he did it. He did a great job. I commend him 100%. I mean, I've seen a few of his episodes, but it definitely made me be like, oh, you know what? Maybe I need to subscribe to his little channel and continue watching.
You should, because
not little channel. His channel's huge. Let me just be clear.
Yeah, for me, that was the first full Club Shay Shay interview I ever watched.
Yeah,
that was the first full one I ever watched, because the other ones, when he has legends on there, a lot of those guys I've already seen speak for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I read Steve Harvey's book. I've seen a lot of Steve Harvey interviews. Same thing was said. I haven't read his book, but I've seen a lot of his interviews. I kind of know enough about them to the point where I don't know if I want to hear him talk for 3 hours. But the way Katt opened it up, I was like, all right, let's see.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh. Okay. Well, all right. Well, all right.
Well, all
so
right.
How do you? So how are Katt fans feeling this year, Dell? Are y'all gonna rejoice? Are y'all gonna go see this man when he's in California?
Yeah,
Are y'all gonna sit? Or are y'all gonna sit back, not repost any of his work, not tag him in anything, and just sit back and say he's so underrated and wait 3 years?
No.
Until
he about to get his flowers. I think now a lot of people recognize that, his value to the comedic world, the value to entertainment world. And I mean, I mean, I've always commended him and said he's been great. I mean, that's why you sitting here saying he's my guy, because I've commended him even when other names have visually, in a way, surpassed him to most people, right? So it's good to see that he's back. I think a lot of people are going to jump on board. I'm seeing every time somebody posts something to questions what he said in the interview, I'm just seeing people be like, no, Katt this, Katt that. So I'm happy. I always read the comments right off the back. Like, well, let me see what niggas saying. And then niggas be like, yeah, nigga, no, nigga, protect Katt because he doing this thing. So I'm happy, man. I'm happy for him. I think a lot of people want to take that energy that he brought, because that was one of the first interviews you get from 2024, right? So they're gonna take that energy and ride with that. Nigga, I'm letting niggas have it. If I sing you this, just know, nigga, I'm tired of your shit. Like, I'm tired of your shit. So I'm happy, man. I'm happy what he doing, man. I'm glad, and I think a lot of people are behind that. Like I said, I think they're going to support him. I think like his next special might even get a sold out. I'm sure it gets sold out anyway, but I'm just saying, like, it's going to be publicly known that it was sold out, because now more people are going to watch look out to find out how well you're doing on these world tours, these 100 tours you done been on, 100, these, I don't know how many times he said them about, like, I went on these many tours to 100 states. You know what I'm saying? I've done this so many times. People gonna be looking out to be like, see, Katt ain't never lied. Niggas gonna be on that shit. Or he lying. Like, niggas only showed up 15 niggas showed up to this one.
I just want to see. I think I'm gonna go, because I missed him in Fresno 1,000 years ago. Mm-hmm. But I think I'm gonna go to Inglewood and see him in May. And I want to see. When I go, it said the Netflix is a joke comedy festival. And when I go there, I want to see actual Katt fans that's going bad right now. That's amped. I don't want to go there and see a whole bunch of Tommies and Duncans and Johns in the audience that just happen to get tickets to go see Katt. Yeah. I want you Katt Williams fans to continue to just live on. Like, I don't want y'all to just sit back in the cut, be like, he's so underrated, but y'all don't do nothing to rate it.
You basically don't want to go there and it look like Levi Stadium.
Not trying to go there and have it look like Levi Stadium. I want the Katt fans to be like how the Cole fans kind of be, like how they can't keep Cole out their mouth. They can't keep Cole out their mouth. Like, man, Cole.
Love Cole. Nigga.
But when it comes to Katt, it seems like Katt fans only pop up when, like, it's Katt Day. It's weird. Y'all not. It's almost like you guys aren't loyal.
Wow, niggas be hating. With that being said, man, I'm gonna leave it on that and let that nigga hate. Let him soak in his hate. But look, let me take you this. I want to give you some black words, man.
What's these black words, man? To start off the year. You got more black words from white people?
Oh, nah. This is one of the most blackest niggas you know. And that's Nelson Mandela. So Nelson Mandela happened to say, the greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Nelson Mandela. Um, Beautifully said. I think it goes hand in hand on what we're talking about here. What we mentioned about Kevin Hart, I said earlier, Kevin Hart has had many falls, and he's happened to rise up to the occasion. I think right now we're seeing that with Katt Williams. I'm not saying he's ever really fell off. I'm just saying that people may presume or assume that he's been fall off because they haven't seen him in a while. But now he's rising, and and he's doing a great job of taking advantage of his rise right now. And I think this is going for you people that are going into your new year as well. And, you might have felt like last year wasn't your year. Don't look at that as though this year can't be your year. Take that fall and come in here and just have a better year this year. One thing even you mentioned is if I go to bed every time and I say, man, you did great this year, then you wake up a winner. Not that you said that, but you quoted that from Katt Williams. I think that's how we got to start looking at it for this going forward in this year. So, yeah, thank you, Nelson Mandela, for those great words.
Yeah, man, that quote hit me different when he said it because I've heard that before. Obviously, our favorite basketball player, the God Allen Iverson, has it on his arm. Play every game like it's your last. But when Cat said the way he delivered that, it had me thinking about that shit the whole week. I was on the treadmill yesterday and I was like, damn, I could have a heart attack right now. And that'd be it. Be over. I was somewhere else. I was like, damn, I could have an aneurysm, crash the car into a pole. That could be it. The end. Like that would be it. Period. And yeah, man, if you can sit back like, yo, I made it through this one, here's another one, then you won. He said, you take one thing away from this interview, take that away.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I love about it because you do 3 hours like, yo, if you take one thing away, here's my positive thing. And that's not being talked about.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna watch it again at the end of the year and see where we at. Also, man, listen, if your last year was bad, listen, find out what you did bad and do it better.
Correct that shit.
Period.
Fuck out of here.
Listen, just take a lesson from it. You be all right. Like me and Dell can give you so much advice.
Yeah, they did.
If your last year was completely bad, the whole thing, you're not looking close enough at the blessings. That's what
your last year was bad. The whole year, you suck.
This year, what we gonna do? Well, this next 1 month we gonna read this book. 10x is easier than 2x.
Okay.
This is the book that I'm reading the next 3 months. Last year I was supposed to read 4 books a year. Bro only did 2. So to keep me accountable, I'm gonna just share these excerpts with y'all. Essentially, I'm gonna give a quick excerpt from the book. The road to hell is paved with the pursuit of volume. Volume leads to marginal products, marginal customers, and greatly increased managerial complexity. Hard work leads to low returns. Insight in doing what we want leads to high returns. Strive for excellence in few things rather than good performance in many. So primarily, this book is about concentrating on what matters the most. So when you hear the 10x, I'm not talking about stock trading or none of that. The idea of this book is if you make a goal big enough, you can cut out all the BS. One example the writer gives is this: his son is an avid high school tennis player. He wants to play in college. And the trainer said, you should just train for pro. He's like, I never thought about that. It's like, well, if you train for pro, you'll immediately be better for college. And then you can cut out all the extra bullshit. You can go directly to a pro trainer. Instead of trying to find the best trainer to get you to college level, you can just find a pro trainer. He talked about you people looking for specialists instead of generalists and cutting out a lot of the bullshit. That's what this book is about. Just got through the intro. I'm like halfway through chapter 1 right now. So just as you move through your week this week, just think about the things that are serving you, that aren't serving you. Certain things that are superfluous. A lot of times we think like, okay, they say 2x is better than 10x is better than 2x. What they mean by 2x is this. Okay, well, if I just make more money, if I make $10,000 more, and I could do X, Y, Z. What if you just got a different job making double? Then at that point, you can only apply for certain jobs.
Right.
If you're like, I only want to get $10,000 more and get closer to work. No. What if you want double and want to work remote? Well, how would I do that? Figure it out. We have less choices. There's infinite ways to make a to make like a marginal increase in something. But the ways that you can make a massive increase are smaller. That's what the book is primarily about. So we're going to go into that throughout the year. I should be able to finish it next 3 months or so. Well, in 90 days. The goal is to finish it in 90 days. And every single episode, I should have a bar for you guys from the book.
Fire.
Anyway.
Looking forward to it.
That's been our episode. What?
I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward.
Okay. I'm looking forward to more black. I'm looking forward to more black words from black people. That's what I'm looking forward from.
Bro, I say one word from a white guy that happened to be relevant to our episode, and now you're gonna hold me to that? Come on, man. First off, stop wearing your beanies like the white guys. It's a problem. Wear like the black guys.
What you mean? This ain't how white dudes wear their beanies.
Yep, that's exactly. Every time I see white guys, that's how they wear their beanies.
This is that Meek Mill Philly flow.
Nah, that ain't no Meek Mill shit. Look like the white guy that be taking out the trash cans. Like,
nigga, this is a ski mask.
Nope. See, white people wear ski masks like that. Black niggas wear ski masks, nigga.
That's incredibly racist. No, it's a ski mask on the back.
I know how it works, man.
No, you don't, man. You've been a family nigga for too long. You ain't been in these streets like
I've been a family nigga for 9 months.
It's hard out here.
You've been a family nigga longer than me.
You got married in 2020. You've been a family nigga for 4 years.
You've been a family nigga your whole life. You've had a family your whole life. Me, I really grew up in the streets. Everybody know this, nigga. I ain't even had no mom. I didn't have no dad. I ain't got nothing. Been out here roughing it. Me, by myself. I had to fight my whole life. Every day. You know who that talking about, Harpo? Whose people is these, Harpo? I ain't never had nothing. Nothing. No Sega Genesis, no PlayStation, no none of that shit. No pool, none of it. None of it. Been a nigga my whole life.
Listen, man.
This my dime. This is my first dime. I had this dime ever since I got it. Ever since back in '98.
For those that can't see, showing a dime. It's not even from '98. That's how much he lies. That's how much he lies. That dime is from 20. It's from 2012.
It's from 1981. It's been 1980. I had a dime since 1984. My mama gave me this dime. She's like, boy, live on your own. And that was it. And I had to survive off this dime. Niggas don't know what I'm living through. Never had no family.
Listen. Parentheses. Insert new sign off. That's what I have. Parentheses. That's where I'm at.
All right, man. Hey, you made it this far. Right now, make sure you like, subscribe. Make sure you hit that comment section. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your opinions. Till next time, just know we here at the Dell and Ry Report really, really fuck with you. Peace.